Welcome to the wonderful world of aphantasia, where your mental images may be non-existent.
So, what is aphantasia? Best way to describe it is it's an inability to form or use mental images as part of your thinking or imagination. Um, Good example is I know what an apple looks like. I can recognize an apple when I see one apple. I can recognize a beach when I see a beach. I can't picture an apple in my head. I can't picture a beach in my head, at least not clearly. Um, it, you have various degrees of aphantasia. Those that don't have it, or if you put it on a scale of 1 to 5, those at like 5 would see things in mind as they'd see it with their eyes. Very clear, a lot of detail. Those at a 1 don't see anything. It's just nothing, blank, black. There's nothing. Um, I sit probably around a 2 or a 3 if I was to guess. Um, I can see images. They're not very detailed, or they're blurry, or if I do get one detail, if I try to kind of expand out, like I can picture an eyeball, but then when I try to picture the whole face, um, I lose the detail of the eye, and I lose all that clarity of the image. Um, it's not what you call a disability or mental disorder or anything like that. It's more seen as whether you're like left-handed or right-handed. You have aphantasia or you don't. So it's not really a disability or anything like that. I don't see it as a disability. It's a pain in the ass at times. It can be annoying, especially if you're try to do things that use your imagination, creativity, um, writing, drawing. Um, like if I want to draw, I have to use references. I can't just draw something out of my head typically, or I can't draw something that's like photorealistic kind of thing. I could make up stuff that's easy to do. But if I was trying to, if you wanted me to like draw um, a forest or something like that, or a person with specific features, it probably wouldn't happen. Um, would not make it as a sketch artist, and I would be a horrible witness to a crime. Good thing there's cameras everywhere these days. Um, So, also with aphantasia, typically it's either congenital, so genetic, it just born with it, it is what it is, or it can be acquired. Um, I don't know which one I have. I lean toward acquired, and I'll get into that into other videos, as well as things I'm going to do to potentially improve things if it is acquired. Um, the reason why I think it's acquired is Um, I just seem to recall having a much more vivid, clear imagination as a kid, um, especially with dreams and stuff like that. Now, just because you have aphantasia doesn't mean that you don't dream or things like that. It's like I said, it's various degrees. There are some people that can visualize if they have their eyes open, but they can't if their eyes are closed. It's a very interesting thing. Um, One of the first earliest times I can think where I realize now that aphantasia took or was there was when I was middle school or high school. My grandfather was visiting, and I mentioned that I wanted to be a writer, and he said, "Okay, describe a sunset to me." And I couldn't picture a sunset to describe a sunset. Um, and then my grandfather, being my grandfather, um, didn't ask what else I wanted to do with my life. Um, So I'm still trying to write and still want to be a writer, so I still do that. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm uh, gotten very far with it, but I'm getting further with it. Um, where aphantasia becomes a problem is with my kids and family stuff. So I can recognize my kids, I can recognize my other half, my parents, all that stuff. I can recognize them. See a picture, yep, that's them. I can't picture them in my head to describe them. Um, and I knew I always had trouble just with the mental images. It didn't bug me until my son was born. And then realizing that I can't describe my son. Um, and I've mentioned this in some of my shorts, reels. Um, so that's where it really got to me and started to bug me. But I've since then learned that I'm not alone with this. There's a lot of people that have it, a lot of people that are successful regardless of it. Like I said, it's not, I don't think anybody has it, wants to be treated like it's something different. It's just the brain works differently. Um, the only place, like I said, it bothers like a lot of us is not being able to describe um, or picture loved ones, things like that. Um, and I think a lot of people realize or don't realize that they have it until they talk to other people. My other half has got like 10 conversations going on in their head, three different movies, various songs, all going through their head at once. And you look at me and say, "What do you think?" Nothing. Well, what's going on in your mind? No, nothing. It's just nothing. It's just. So, like I said, I can I can picture some stuff, but not very clearly. So it's not like I don't see anything. Um, but I do think that there are things in my life that potentially have caused it or made it worse. And over the course of the year, I'm going to um, try to reverse some of that if that's what is the case. If it's congenital, there's nothing I can do about it. But if it's acquired, I can. The other area, and I'll discuss this in another video, is that a lot of memories are tied visually. So if you can't picture things, you can't, it makes it hard to remember things. Like I can't remember details. I can remember feelings associated with it, um, sometimes conversations, but I can't like see it in my head. So it, at least in my case, has created a deficient autobiographical memory, or being able to recall my memories and see them through the first person kind of thing, and do that. So even with that and that memory issue that I have, I don't think it's all aphantasia caused. I actually know it's not, and I'll go over that in another video, and how I'm kind of working on all this stuff together. What my plans are for the year to see if I can improve my mental um, imagery, um, as well as improve memory and reverse some of the damage that I know that I have done through the use of, I won't say drugs, medication. Um, there are various medications taken in large enough doses or long enough that will affect your cognitive abilities and your memories. So I plan on doing some things to reverse that. So I hope this kind of explains what aphantasia is. Um, if you do want to follow me on this journey, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, um, follow me both on YouTube as well as Instagram. Um, my links are in the bio. One day I'll figure out this whole adding subscribe buttons and all that stuff, but I may work in the IT field, but I'm 47 and not tech savvy as I was 20 years ago. That said, I hope you learned something. I hope this helped you, and thank